Yo, what's up, y'all? This philosophical from the rap review room. Man, today we got Lupe Fiasco, Miss Mural, man. Let's get to it, man. Cut to the intro. What's going on? What's going on, y'all? It's philosophical from the rap review room. I want to thank everybody that has liked and subscribed to the page, man. I am on a road to 1,000 subscribers, man. So continue to like and subscribe to the page. Also, man, I appreciate everybody that's commented. I try to follow with all the comments. Please continue to comment. Also, if you're an up and coming artist and you want your music reviewed here, as this is a channel that reviews up and coming artists that may need a little bit of a push, review your songs, your tracks, your album, and also if you want to interview on this channel, don't hesitate to reach out to me, as this information is also down in the description box, y'all. All right. So, man, today, so Lupe Fiasco, right? I reviewed his album. I reviewed a lot of his singles. I reviewed Murals, the original track. So today, man, I'm gonna be reviewing Miss Murals, which is the third track in the trilogy he did off of Drill Music and Zion. Really dope album. Let me know if you guys want me to review that. And I'm gonna go back and also review Mural Jr., which was on Dragus Wave uh, album. I'm gonna go back and review that track. So this is the third entry in the Murals trilogy, of course. We got Miss Murals off of Drill Music in Zion. This is produced by Soundtrack and Lupe Fiasco. I love their chemistry, so I know this track is dope. I've heard this track, dope album. I'm just gonna review this here with y'all. Soundtrack is one of my favorite producers as far as with Lupe, man. So let's go ahead and get it, man. Lupe Fiasco, Miss Mural. Let's get it.
If you had to paint the gutter, which color would you choose? Said the patron to the painter. The painter said the blues. Do you act off intuition or languish and peruse? More like tap into tradition from the angle of my mood. He looked back at his canvas or strangling a tube. A master of the palette or sanguine and cool. The music mostly jazz, the jazz mostly old. Punctured by some punk and some old smoky soul.
I want to first say this. So it looks like we're getting, of course, a story here. Uh, on one of my favorite type of subjects here as far as like painting a canvas. We're getting a canvas type, no pun intended, a canvas type story here, right? But basically a twist here. And I like this, right? He's basically asking, have you painted a gutter? If you painted a gutter, which color would you choose? Said the painter to the painter. The painter said the blues. Oh, great line. Great line there, right? And then he says, do you act off intuition or language or peruse? Right? More like tap in tradition from the angle of my mood, right? So basically, we're speaking from, if you look from a painter to a paintbrush on how it's being painted here, right? And then basically saying here, we look back at the canvas by strangling the tube, paint tube, right? A master of the palette. You have a palette, right? All sanguine and cool, right? And then you got music in the background, mostly jazz. The jazz is mostly old, right? I think I think so far the way this starts out, it's a little bit more concise, a little bit more. We're getting a little bit a better story. So I think out of the trilogy, I'm liking this one better than Mural. So already, I'm liking this. Let's keep going.
An atlas on the trunk from the land of broken goals. Just a cover in the back that you open and you close. Where are all the pages? The painter said defanged. I ripped them all out and made some paper planes. Fish grease absorbers and some origami cranes. Poured itself a drink and then poured it down the drain. Looked at the empty canvas, said I think I have a name. I'll call it gasoline. Pouring on the flames. Hey.
So now, continuing with the story, right? So an atlas on the truck from a land of broken goals, right? Just a cover and a back that you open and you close. dope. Deep line right there. Where are all the pages? The painter said defanged. I ripped them all out and made some paper planes, right? Have you ever felt like sometimes, even in music or any other, if you're writing a book, whatever, like if you're not liking something, you're not liking the idea, you tear it up. But in this instance, right, he made paper planes out of it. I like that line. I can really relate to that line, right? Fish grease is over into some origami cranes, right? Just something he didn't feel intellectually as far as the idea, right? And looked at the empty canvas and think I have a name, right? So you bought up all the ideas and you're looking at an empty canvas, and now he has a name. He's gonna call it gasoline poured on the flames, right? Is that what we're getting as far as the album cover here? Dope. That's dope right there. Dope, 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 man. I'm feeling this. This is Lupe I like and love and enjoy, right? I'm loving the breaking this too, man. I'm loving the beat. I'm loving the breaking this, man. This is what I've always wanted from Lupe, right? And I wonder, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong in this, but it sounds like that's the picture we're getting from the album cover.
I appreciate the visit, this isn't normally allowed. Do you consider yourself wild or conforming to a style? The patron pointed at a pile of those rejections or mistakes. The painter said that is not for question or debate. Most of what we know as art is the projection of a faith, the product of a pond.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That is a dope line right there. He says there, right? Do you consider yourself wild or conforming to a style? The patron pointed at the pile of those rejections or mistakes. The pile of paper planes, right? The painter said that is not for question or debate. Most of what we know as art is a projection of a faith. Oh man, that is deep right there, right? Again, again. Um, it's just amazing hearing this story. Like I said, this is my favorite one out of the three so far, right? I'm gonna go back and listen to Mural Junior, of course. I'm gonna go back and do one of that. But man, just the storytelling here. That is a deep line. That's my favorite line of this track so far, right? Although it's rejections or mistakes, the painter said that's not for question or debate. Most of what we know as art is a rejection of faith. Meaning, right? Faith is only as a projection as far as you believe in it, right? Like he's saying that if you believe in it versus you not believing in that, right? He didn't believe in those balled up pieces of paper, right? But you never know what someone else might believe in, right? Support. Same thing in music. Same thing here as far as this line here, right? A projection of faith, questioning faith. That's kind of what the mistakes were. It's questioning it, questioning the 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 mistakes, right? Let's keep going, man.
Pontiff for the election of a saint, a gift from the red for the digestion of the caint.
And even there, the product of a pontiff or election of a saint, a gift from the reed for the digestion of the cant. Again, wow, a gift from the reed for the digestion of the cant. So basically, what we often digest as people, going back to faith, what we can't do. It takes us a little while to motivate us and digest on things we can do. And I like that here, man. And then he says a visual garnish for the confessions of the Frank. Ah, man.
Visual garnish for the confessions of the frank. Displays of physical carnage, make connections to the ranks. Goes over very well with South Americans and Yanks. Not to sound shamanistic, but there's medicine in pain. It gets kinetic if you let it. There's a fetish in its strength.
So I'm gonna equate that to this right here. He just said displays of physical carnage to make connections to the ranks. Right? Goes over very well with South Americans and Yanks. Not to sound shamanistic, but this medicine in paint. It gets kinetic if you let it. This is a fetish in its strength. Right? So, you know how we're doing music? We're even painting this picture here on the fact that the physical carnage to make connections to painters, rappers, artists that rank above us. Right? that go and he's saying that goes over well with the South Americans and Yankees, right? Not to sound shamanistic, but it's there's medicine in paint. Meaning, what you paint is medicine to here, the physical, right? To the physical, the mental. But we're so caught up in trying to make connections of everybody ranking above us, we disregard our creativity, right? And then it says it gets kinetic if you let it. If you tap into your creativity, it gets kinetic and it's strength. Oh man, Lupe. I wish we got more of this from Lupe, right? I I, I like the first one, but I'm enjoying this one a lot better.
Modern will call Russian roulette is in the flanks, and most will pull the trigger if the weapon's full of blanks. But when there's a pool of sharks and you step into the tank, that's the pool of art that got them headed to the plank. But they fell for the deception.
Yes, exactly what I just said, right? Right? And most will pull the trigger if the weapon's full of blanks. But when there's pool of sharks, you step into the tank. But that's the pool of art that got them headed to the plank. When you compare your your things, your music, your expression to other ranks that are above you, it's pressure, right? And that's and it walks you to the plank of suicide of like just that right there, man. It's like that's art right there, man. That's key right there. And he's comparing, and I'm equating the storytelling of the painter to music, right? Tap into your own creativity. Tap into your own art. Art, music, are forms of expression. When you question that forms of art, right? We're so comparing it to the ranks of everybody, what everybody else is doing, and that's dope right there, man. That's dope.
Deceptiveness of the secularist complaint, the upheaval of the cathedrals into the edifice of bank. That pile over there is just the evidence of angst, the felt revival of a perfectionist when his efforts have just sank.
Boom. The failed revival of a perfectionist when his efforts have just sank. Ah, man. Again, when we try to be perfectionists, comparing ourselves to the ranks, you're bound to fail and sink. Man, man.
A selection of the waste that lacks direction or a base. You lose all of the plots for the affections of a race.
Dope. That's a dope line. Your selection of the waste that lacks direction or a base. You lose all the plots for the affections of a race. You lose all motivation for the race. You give up completely. Oh man.
Man does not become superior because you connect him to a cape, nor does become inferior because you connect him to an ape. I never want.
Man does not become superior because you connect him to a cape, nor does become inferior because you connect him to an ape. Superman, right? That's dope right there. Another dope line. And I'm gonna back it up here. I apologize for the pause, man, but this is deep right here.
Of a race, man does not become superior because you connect him to a cape, nor does become inferior because you connect him to an ape. I never wanted my life to be a collection of some dates and holiday my days away and intellectually sedate. It's not really a beef, but conceptually at stake. Like do genitals and gender roles successfully conflate? The current art world is just competitively opaque. It never ceases to amaze. My mouth is medically agape. One day it's raising up the brand, the next it's shredding it to flakes. And the velocity of trends is what referees the pace. Professionally.
Oh man. Okay. So I never wanted my life to be a collection of some dates. That's at holiday, my days away intellectually sedate. It's not really a beef conceptually, it's steak, right? What a metaphor right there, right? It's not let's do genitals and gender roles successfully conflate. The current art world is just competitively oblique. It never ceases to amaze. My mouth is medically agape. It's interesting, man. It's 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 very interesting to this, man. It's just really dope. This storyteller right here, man.
Accept what ethically I hate. So in all of my work, you see this wrestling with.
I'm just gonna rewind here. Also, he says one day it's raising up the bread, the next is shredding it like flakes. Another great bar there. And the velocity of trends is what referees the pace.
clean up the brand, the next is shredding it to flakes. And the velocity of trends is what referees the pace. Professionally accept what ethically I hate. So in all of my work, you see this wrestling with fate. It's even in the brushstrokes, how aggressively I strafe. Less like putting on some makeup, more like severing a face. Wow, said the patron with a smile. That's the most interesting diatribe I've heard in a while. How you articulated the nature and put it all on trial. Took it up to heaven, then put it on the ground. The painter asked the patron, can you stand up on the pile? I've had a flash of inspiration, my creativeness aroused. The model took its place, the painter grabbed the lighter, doused the shit in gasoline and set it all on fire.
So he says there, right? That's the most interesting diatribe I've ever heard in a while. How you articulate the nature and put it all on trial. I took it up to heaven, then put it on the ground. That's another deep bar. The patron asked, can you stand up on the pile? A flash of inspiration, my creativeness aroused, right? The model took its place. The painter grabbed the lighter, doused it in gasoline, and set it all on fire. That goes back to the original line there, right? When he said, when he came with the idea, gasoline poured on the flames. Wow. Wow. That's deep right there. Just this sound right here makes you just kind of tap into your creativity there, man. I'm really liking this. Man, so that was Miss Mural by Lupe Fiasco, man. Really, really deep, really dope, man. Really dope track from Lupe, man. That was my favorite track as far as his trilogy. So far, I'm gonna go back and listen to Mural's Junior, of course. Uh, man, but that whole album, Drill Music in Zion, was a dope track, man. I like this better than the original one that was on Tatsuya Youth. Let me know if you guys want to review this album. And also let me know, man, any albums you guys want me to review from Lupe. Of course, I've reviewed a lot of his tracks so far. Definitely appreciate you guys for staying with me this far. Continue to like and subscribe to the page as I am on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Also, continue to comment, man. I try to follow up and respond to all the comments that I can. Also, if you're an up and coming artist and you want your music reviewed here, don't hesitate to reach out, as this information is also down in the description box. Whether you're an up and coming artist, you like a track reviewed, album review, or interview, where this is a channel where we review up and coming artists on this channel. All right. I'm philosophical from the rap review room, y'all. I'm out, y'all. Peace.